Throwing has been reworked significantly, and this changes quite a lot with the game, especially combat related. Before, throwing was very imprecise. Trying to land like a perfect grenade or something, honestly, it was more luck than anything. You could somewhat get used to how like objects like slid or how far they would slide with traction, but even then, trying to memorize it and do it in actual combat felt borderline impossible. However, throwing has been made very simple. For most objects that aren't weapons, so like if I throw a plushie, it will land exactly on my cursor, or at least pretty damn close. Even throwing something only about a tile away will actually make it land on that tile. So if I throw to the second X, it pretty much lands on the second X. Throw the third X, I think you get the point. It is very precise, and yes, objects still have some friction, but the fact that you can land something within the exact tile every single time makes throwing as precise as you want it to be. Even if you were to we're moving full speed, and I want to throw to this fourth X, if I just throw it at the right time, it still lands exactly there. Yeah, there's some prediction stuff. You have to compensate for how fast you're moving, for lag, if there's objects, of course, and all that stuff. Some objects, like bolas, to the tile you're throwing it at, but also keep sliding. So this applies to things like weapons that do throwing damage, so like something like a combat knife will also go past my cursor. Spears will also slide past the cursor. And the reason for this is, as the PR directly states, is that you don't want your throwing weapons to land at your opponent's feet. You want them to slide either and hit them and embed or keep going. There's really two types of objects being thrown: objects that land at your cursor and objects that slide slightly past your cursor. Either way, this is great for precision. For example, if you have something like a flashbang and you want to blow it up directly behind a doorway or behind a wall, it's very easy. You prime it, and it's like, oh, flashbangs have a 3-second detonation, so you can just sit here and listen to the 3-second count and then throw it right behind that corner, and you'll instantly flash people behind that doorway. You don't have to guess if the grenade's going to land there. It just will land there. So grenades, if you didn't quite catch that, are something that will land directly at your cursor. So this makes things like cooking frag grenades or any form of lethal grenade extremely dangerous. So if you get something like the explosive grenade from the Syndicate uplink, it has a 3.5-second timer. If you learn how to cook this, you just beep, beep, throw it on the second beep. It will... Oh my god. I didn't account for the other explosives. But you get my point. I was able to land it directly at their feet, pretty much almost like an impact grenade, due to the throwing changes. So, there's not really... So, really, in general, there's not too much else to talk about. Throwing weapons and things like bolas will slide past the tile just by a little bit that you're throwing at. Everything else, from a plushie to a gun, will throw and land exactly at your tile, including grenades. Also, this is definitely going to be a question. No, stun batons will actually land exactly at your cursor. So if you're trying to land at somebody, you actually need to click past them, like so. Do not throw the baton directly at someone. A little bit counterintuitive, because with throwing weapons, you still want to throw it directly at them, because it's supposed to slide past them. Like if you throw a knife, throwing them directly at them is fine. But just very quick footnote for batons, throw it past them, and you might as well overshoot it by a bit, because the whole point is to hit them with the baton. Anyways, thank you for watching.